there's a defamation lawsuit between Grant Cardone and John Legere. Okay, so what is happening? Let me go ahead and share. This is the first thing that I wanted to share. Grant Cardone, if you don't know who he was on Undercover Billionaire. He was on, he wrote 10X. He's like a financial guru. He talks a lot about real estate and other things like that. And so I thought this was really interesting when I saw this because I actually experienced some of the things that he is accusing John Legere of. John Legere is the former CEO of T-Mobile. And both of these guys are very outspoken, very opinionated. And so it's just really interesting to see. So I was in several rooms in Clubhouse back in the day, like probably 2020 and 2021. And both of them were in there and they had very strong opinions period, but they were often kind of going at each other. And if I had to say, it was more John Legere going after Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone would just give these very strong opinions and then John Legere would come after it. Usually wasn't Grant Cardone, from my recollection, kind of going after John. And so a lot of what happened, I think, in my humble opinion, is that Grant Cardone, especially this is like at the beginning of the pandemic, right? At the height of that beginning year of the pandemic, Grant Cardone had a more conservative view of the pandemic and the vaccine and all of that. And John Legere, from my recollection, was more liberal in the sense of, I think if I had to guess, he maybe thought that Grant Cardone was maybe being irresponsible about not putting emphasis on the vaccine and things like that. Okay, so I would just say all this to give you some context before we get into what it is, because I was actually not surprised when I saw this. In fact, I was almost like, man, it took a really long time because it seemed like this was all the way back from 2020, 2021 that this kind of little feud has been going on. So just going to read here. This is from Grant Cardone. He posted this. He posted a snippet on the New York Post article, which we're going to read in a moment. But it says, warning. And this is why I wanted to share this with you, because as influencers, YouTubers, podcasters, he's kind of giving you this lawsuit against John Legere is actually not just about him. It's really kind of like a warning to all podcasts. In fact, it literally says warning to podcasters, influencers, YouTubers, and moderators, hosts. Okay. While I will not speak to the Legere case, I can tell you there is more to come. I will be aggressively seeking damages against all who attempt to defame my name, brand, or businesses without providing supporting facts and due diligence to support your slander. Thousands of families are employed by me at our many companies, and tens of thousands of investors depend on monthly distributions from our investments. When reckless slander causes my employees and investors to question themselves, that damages my business. And I will do everything necessary to stop anyone who intentionally attempts to do so. Also, you will not be able to hide behind the veil of he is a public figure, or in my opinion, or I was drunk as your defense. Additional warning. All YouTubers, influencers, podcasters, moderators, and hosts on audio platforms, he's talking about things like the Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse, including guests on live or recorded social platforms who seek to damage a business, brand, or name without providing supporting facts and due diligence to support their claims and headlines must be stopped from their viscous and damaging libel. If you were a witness to the slander, reach out to me. So this was so long ago. I don't remember the exact things that said, so I wouldn't feel comfortable, reaching out to him on this. However, that was kind of like my overall impression, is that they were both really giving these very strong opinions, And John seemed to have more of a like defensive against Grant Cardone. I don't remember the exact words that were said, so again, I don't feel comfortable like sharing exactly, but that was my overall impression and why I'm actually not surprised. And the fact that it took him a few years to even do this lawsuit to me says that, and we're gonna read now in a second, tells me that this actually didn't stop, right? Like it could have just been a short period of time. Some people had feuds or whatever around the pandemic and around the vaccine and all that. But we're talking about now it's been 3 or 4 years. Why is this continuing? And actually, might as well just read real quick the one from Elena Cardone. This is Grant's wife. Huh. Okay. What happened here? Let me do it again. Elena Cardone. Let's go there. Okay. Because she also posted and she shared some interesting stuff there too. So she says Grant Cardone files a $100 million defamation suit against retired T-Mobile CEO. As the wife of Grant Cardone, I'm so proud my husband has taken action against the ex-CEO of T-Mobile, John Legere, for his reckless, slanderous, and damaging comments. I've watched my husband extend himself to help people for 20 years with his advice, company services, and investments. The things John Legere has said about my husband are without merit, without proof, and he should know better. As the ex-CEO of a $140 billion company, he knows the value of trust with an audience, and he intentionally and repeatedly sought to damage trust between the audience and Grant Cardone. My husband has helped millions of people with his common sense advice regarding finance, real estate, investing, sales, marketing, and business. It would appear to me that Ivy League educated, corporate shielded John Legere is jealous of my husband's self-made status and appeal with the people. Okay. And here, Grant Cardone saying, thank you, Elena, for supporting me and standing behind me. It is vital that the family stand together at times like this. While this action may seem extreme, it is my job as a leader of, while this action is a leader of the household to protect my family, my brand, my business, my reputation, my investors, and our employees. Jeff, the entrepreneur, says, can hear your voice in this. Yes, I even told John he sounded jealous. You guys changed my life. Best is yet to come. So he's probably going to reach out to people who were in those rooms and probably even recorded them. So this is at 10 p.m. in later 2020. I was shocked to personally witness John Legere on Clubhouse slurring his words as though he was drunk, making wild, baseless accusations against my husband. He would go on and on like a vicious, angry, jealous old man with nothing better to do. I was shocked hearing some of the claims he was making. While the relationship between my husband and John Legere was cordial for many years, where the two provided advice to live audiences, sometimes after Legere publicly rejected Elon Musk as a Twitter CEO, Legere changed. He started to recklessly rant to thousands of people in rooms that my husband was living beyond his means, spending like a drunken sailor, he said one night. After it was reported that he bought a house in Malibu, Legere is recorded making more suggestions to the audience that Grant was doing something criminal to support our lifestyle. Sorry. After it was reported that we bought a house in Malibu, Legere is recorded, God, commas are important. Legere is recorded making more suggestions to the audience that Grant was doing something criminal to support our lifestyle. Okay, so this is kind of long here, but I'm going to go and I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to go back to this other thing here, which is the actual article that started this whole thing, which is, it says, finance guru Grant Cardone slaps telecom big John Legere with a $100 million defamation suit. This is in the New York Post. Former T-Mobile CEO John Legere has been slapped with a $100 million defamation suit for calling personal finance guru Grant Cardone a con man and a bull SHIT artist. Legere, who built T-Mobile into the third largest U.S. telecom operator before leaving the helm in 2020, has more recently taken to tussling with Cardone, a real estate investor and internet celebrity who wrote the New York Times bestseller, The 10X Rule. Cardone, who's been featured on Discovery Channel's Undercover Billionaire, has tapped celebrities including Tom Brady, John Travolta, Kevin Hart, and even former President Donald Trump for his conferences, where attendees pay between $2,000 and $35,000 to learn how to dramatically scale a business, according to Cardone's site. But according to a Florida suit filed Thursday in Miami-Dade County, the value of Cardone's brand has lately been slashed by an amount believed to be no less than $100 million because of Legere's false and defamatory statements. So basically, and I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but he said things that like he was a con man, that he's a bull SHIT artist, and that he's not, that Grant Cardone's not a billionaire. So a bunch of things that, after several years of saying stuff like this, I guess Grant Cardone's finding like, okay, well, this is actually now starting, this was like kind of some petty stuff, but now it's starting to become defamatory and slanderous, and is actually affecting my business because he has, John Legere has like, I think almost 6 million followers on Twitter. And obviously across social media platforms, he's got multiple more millions of followers. So yeah, I can see where Grant Cardone and Grant Cardone, because he's a businessman, strikes me as somebody who's like, I'm gonna fight this. I'm not gonna just let somebody make these defamatory statements. And by the way, this was after years. He could have done it way back in 2020 or 2021, but he did it after several years because it sounds like it's been over and over and over again. And that's why he decided to do the lawsuit. And so it says a few months earlier in February and March 20. Oh, wait. Okay, well, I don't see a few months earlier, but we'll just say in February and March 2023, Legere had posted snarky comments on Cardone social media, the suit adds. For instance, in the comment section of one of Cardone's posts about saving his health, Legere posted steroids question. The suit claims the comment was thereby attacking Cardone's reputation without basis. Okay, so it goes on to say, the article says that they were, that they were doing business together, and they expressed interest in implementing aspects of Cardone's tutorials at T-Mobile. They worked together to raise money for charity and on different causes on Clubhouse. But after a brief stint recommending Cardone's VIP health product 10X Health to live chat rooms, Legere abruptly pivoted away from his collaboration relationship with Cardone and instead became hostile toward Cardone. So I think, this is just my opinion, that if there was this resentment that John Legere had against Cardone for the pandemic, for the coronavirus, and the vaccine and all of that, maybe that he felt like Grant Cardone was maybe being irresponsible about health, just kind of putting some pieces together, and maybe that's what it had to do with. I'm not 100% sure, but if John Legere had issues about the coronavirus issue, and he, after the whole 10X Health thing that Cardone was promoting, that's when he seemed to increase his hostility toward him. Maybe that's what it has to do with, right? I don't know. It kind of all seems interrelated. The suit claims that Cardone privately reached out to Legere, I keep saying Legere like it's Legere. Reached out to Legere and demanded he end his attacks or the friendship would be over. Legere agreed he had gone too far and said he would stop. But since then, the suit claims, Legere has commenced a campaign designed to defame Cardone by making claims that lack veracity and have caused and will continue to cause damage to Cardone's reputation in the public community. So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about somebody who is, Cardone is on the conservative side and Legere is on the liberal side, And so, or progressive side. And so, yeah, they're going to have differences of opinion, but the difference is, at what point are you just disagreeing with somebody's and their opinions, and at what point are you defaming or slandering them, even though you disagree with them, to the point that it's affecting their business? And I was actually in a Twitter Spaces that Grant Cardone was in last night. And he said, if you have a disagreement about somebody, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something like, if you want to call somebody out and you have facts, if you've got proof, if you have evidence of that, then go for it. But if you don't, then you're being slanderous and you're being defamatory. So just to call somebody out, and he has a big issue with people who have clickbaity titles, and I am completely in agreement with this. There's clickbait that is meant to evoke curiosity, so you so you open up the link to whatever it is. As long as that is in alignment, the title is in alignment with whatever the content is, or sometimes it's a thumbnail or the photo associated. If all of that is in alignment, then it's not bad clickbait. It's just curiosity that you're evoking. But if you're trying to use clickbait in order to deceive or to get people to click while you're making money on these statements that are hurting somebody's reputation, that's where they cross the line, and that's what's wrong. And so that's why I said at the beginning that this is not just about a lawsuit against John Legere. This is really a lawsuit that is a warning to anyone who's posting defamatory statements, who's posting clickbaity titles and headlines and photos. He said, he brought up a lot things like people using, con man or a scam or things like that. And actually, I wrote it down. I wrote down what he said. And what did he say? Clickbait. Yeah, I guess it was just, he was talking about the clickbait. I wrote it down. It was about, yeah, that's it. I think he might have said another word, but I didn't write it. I didn't write that down. But yeah, so he was just basically talking about clickbait and how that could be used. I mean, for good, to evoke curiosity, for bad if you're actually lying or being deceitful. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else here I wanted to mention. Okay, I think that's it for now. And because Grant Cardone is a very opinionated person, he has also, people also have issues with his statements, right? And so he's had, apparently, according to the article, also had some lawsuits against him for different things related to the investments and things like that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Again, I think that this is not just an individual lawsuit, although certainly he's saying that John Legere's comments have affected his brand, Grant Cardone's brand, to the tune of $100 million or more. But it's really a warning to the YouTubers, the podcasters, the influencers, and anyone who's using that deceitful clickbait, or who's using it to purposely be defamatory against someone. And, if you really believe, like if you had a personal experience and you were sharing that personal experience about Grant Cardone or about anyone, nobody can take that away from you because it's your personal experience. But if you just don't like what somebody's doing and you're going to call them a con man, or you're going to say it's a scam without any proof other than what you're observing from other people, then yeah, expect that somebody's going to be pushing back on that, because you can be affecting somebody's livelihood. So anyway, would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is warranted? Do you think it's overkill? Let me know what you think. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you do, because we cover tips and strategies to grow your visibility and monetize your channel. So this topic, for example, is something that could, if you take it to one extreme, could actually hurt your channel and hurt your brand. So that's why I wanted to share this. Hopefully you got some learning lessons from it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. And yeah, so stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll be doing way more topics that are going to help you, again, grow your visibility and monetize your brand. And I'm going to put in the link for anyone who wants to create a 2024 plan to grow your visibility. I did a little mini workshop, and it has some reflection questions for you to create your plan for this year. And you could do that. It'll be great to do it this weekend. You have tomorrow off, do it tomorrow. And yeah, so with that, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. And remember, it is your time to boldly be seen and heard. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.